Yeah. Look, everybody in the ring is a grown up, right? And they're there by choice. It's a war of choice, if you will, not to get political right now. And so everybody should be given the chance to survive and fight out. Now, Carl Sumanatafu, who I trained with, had this referee who stopped two fights on him real early. The second one was against Jack May, but the guy had done it in a fight earlier to Carl. And Carl said to the ref afterwards, "Hey man, it's the second time you got me." Like, meaning my opponent didn't get me, you got me, which is fair, and I get that feeling. Look, I had a referee, he refed some of my bouts like in '99, right? Like, and first of all, he was part of the split decision that robbed me in my championship fight, which is total BS. And then 10 years later, or whatever it was, when I came back and fought again, he was my referee. And not that I would have won that fight, but like, he stopped it instantaneously, practically. And I understand that there's a urge to not let the fighters take too much damage. At the same time, the fighters worked very hard to be there, and you give him every opportunity he can to show his stuff. So, but look, that stoppage against Herb was late. Okay, so on to your question actually about Dober and Michael Johnson. So, and this dovetails into what we were just talking about, right? Why do I think that referee stopped my fight in 2009 when I fought David Nielsen for the California State IKF kickboxing cruiserweight title? I think he stopped it because he remembered me from 10 years ago, and he felt that I was too old to be there. And so there were some of his own personal biases playing in. Now, forget the fact that I never would have beaten Dave. Dave's a way more gifted fighter than I am on a natural talent level. And he had opened his martial arts gym, something I probably should have done. And he had been learning and training through training his people all those years. So Dave was not a beatable opponent for me. All that having been said, did he stop it early? Yes, he stopped it early. And I'll tell you, when he ruled against me against Isaiah, I mean, I felt a little weird about it. I mean, Isaiah was black. He was clearly black himself. It felt like there was some bias going on there. Right now, with Michael Johnson and Drew Dober, we're talking about two older guys. So what it's really going to be is who slipped less, right? I love Michael Johnson's boxing. I think he brought out the best in Nate Diaz. That was the best Nate Diaz I ever saw. I know Joe Schilling was in his camp, but Nate Diaz used kickboxing and whatnot against Michael Johnson when they boxed, and he clearly outclassed Johnson even in the boxing department, throwing in some of that kickboxing stuff. Dober's a more well-rounded MMA type of guy, I guess, less focused on the boxing, if you will. If I had to guess, and all these things are guesses, I think that even though Johnson's been on a big run, and I believe very much in momentum, I think that Dober being a little bit more grappling centric and not relying on that fast twitch hand coordination that striking requires, I think Dober's got a shot. He's also got a lot of power. So I'm going to take Dober. But listen, 6-1, half a dozen of the other, man. It is what it is. We're going to see tonight very soon. Like and follow for more on the Fight Game.